Hello my lovely bookish friends. I must apologise firstly for the lighting in this video. It's sunny on one side of the house and not sunny on the other side, so it's a bit crazy. I'm sorry if it gets a bit funny during the video, but I'm here today to do my February TBR pile and also to talk about the Books Are My Bag campaign. Now, the Books Are My Bag campaign is a campaign that I am really behind. And it is basically trying to get people to shop in the local bookshops more than they would shop on Amazon or the Book Depository or any kind of online book supplier. And the reason for this is because we do not want our local bookshops to go out of business, because they are such beautiful places and I love going into my local bookshop. Even if it is a Waterstones, it's still a chain, but that's still a kind of independent high street bookstore as opposed to, say, Amazon, like one of the market giants. So the whole idea of the Books Are My Bag campaign is to have a lovely orange bag and to go to your local bookshop whenever you want to buy a book and buy it from them instead of buying it online. Really simple concept, really easy to do as well, and I think it's really important that we all support this campaign and make sure that we use our local bookshops, because I would dread for my local bookshop to disappear, and I'm sure the same goes for you as well. You don't want to see your lovely bookshop vanish. So that is basically the Books My Bag campaign, and I've put my February books to be read in the bag just to show it off. So I'm going to delve into the bag and show you what I've got to read for February. Now, these aren't going to be in any kind of order, but the first one I've picked out is a Diary of an Unsmug Married by Polly James. Now, I was sent this by the lovely Olivia from Light Brigade PR, I think that's their name, on behalf of Avon Books. And she emailed me to ask if I'd like a copy, and I looked at the cover, and without even knowing anything what the book was about, I said yes straight away. I absolutely love this cover. I think it's really clever, really pretty as well. Nice. I love the pink and the blue together. And I think this is about, or this is how it's described: if Bridget Jones's diary is inspiration for being single and keeping your man, Molly Bennett's diary is an inspiration for all those unsmug marrieds on the wrong side of 35. It's a wickedly funny novel about the female midlife crisis. And it's also been said to be funnier than Adrian Mole, more tragicomic than Bridget Jones. This is a story of real relationships, and I love reading books like this. Even though I'm not at that point in my life where I might be having a midlife crisis, I still love reading it. I still think they're really funny, and because I've grown up with a mum and I've been a teenager, I kind of get all those kind of teenage relationship things with your parents, and also husband and wife relationships, so I can always sometimes kind of pick out these in the book, and I always love reading them because I think they're quite funny and really clever. What's the word? Clever. Oh, what's the word? Clever. See, this is what happens when I try and be clever. I can't think of the word. When you look at something and you act like you watch it. Very clever. We're going to be here for days if I try and think of the word. But yes, excited to read this book, and I will definitely be reviewing this one. So I will be excited to know if you... I keep using the word excited as well, this isn't good. I will be interested to know if you are looking forward to reading this one as well. And I think this is published, let me consult my little interesting list, the 13th of February, so that's not too far away. The second book that I've pulled out of the bag is The Boat by Clara Salaman. Now, if the cover of this book doesn't make you want to read it, then I think you have something wrong with you. Oh, it's beautiful, and the tagline, they thought they had been rescued, they were wrong. Like, how much prettier can we get than this? Like, I don't think you can. And this was sent to me from the lovely people at Head of Zeus, and I'm really fast becoming a massive lover of this publishing company. They were so lovely. They even sent me their catalogue for this year, and I did kind of stick sticky tags in the books that I'm really excited about, and surprisingly, if I can find it, quickly, I actually tagged this page because I wanted to read The Boat, so I am so happy that they second guessed me and sent it straight to me. So I'm so excited to read that book, and I will definitely be reviewing as well. I just think it sounds like such a cool premise. It was meant to be the trip of a lifetime. Johnny and his new bride Clem have arrived in Turkey for a year's honeymoon. Young, blissfully happy but poor, they are surviving on love, luck and a spirit of adventure. So when a boat appears out of a raging storm, crewed by a bohemian couple who represent everything Johnny and Clem want to be, they do not think twice about stepping on board. But all is not as it seems, and when they finally open their eye to the truth, the boat is in the middle of the vast open sea. That sounds so good. I'm so excited to read this, and I have been trying to read this so many times. I've picked it off my shelf and I've gone to open it. I'm like, no, I can't read it yet, I can't read it yet. So I cannot wait to the moment that I can pick it off my shelf and start reading. So really, really looking forward to this one. My next February read is Mrs. Sinclair's Suitcase by Louise Walters, and the tagline is "One letter can change everything you thought you knew." I think this is a really nice cover as well. Not so keen on the back cover, but you know, that's how it goes. Mrs. Sinclair's Suitcase is a heartbreaking debut novel about family secrets, soulmates and missed opportunities. Based on a real suitcase and a real letter which Louise Walters found when working in a second-hand bookshop. That is really cool, actually. I didn't realise that. I hadn't read that bit before, about how this is kind of based a little bit on what happened in the past. So looking forward to reading this one, and I'm really excited as well about discovering Louise Walters, another debut author. You know how much I love discovering new authors and seeing what they have to give to the reading world, so really looking forward to this one. And I'll be interested as well to know if you're looking forward to this, whether you've heard about it, and whether you want to see a review for it, because I know quite a lot of these books people kind of don't really know until they get published, so it'll be interesting to see whether you've actually had a chance to find out about this before it is published. The next book, I just hit my funny bone. The next book, now I have to admit that, number one, I am massively guilty of starting to read this book, and number two, I'm really lucky that I have a signed proof copy, and it is The Dead Wife's Handbook by Hannah Beckerman. Now Hannah ran a really cool Twitter competition, and I was one of the lucky ones to get a signed copy of the book, which is really exciting. Hannah is an absolutely wonderful, wonderful woman, and I'm so glad that I found her, and she's a really good friend as well now, not just an author. Now I must say that when I first read the blurb to this book, the first thing that sprang to mind was Polly Williams' book. I don't know if any of you have read it, and it's called The Angel at Number 33, and that's about a mum and a wife who dies, and she goes into this kind of limbo between heaven and wherever you go when you die, and she gets to look down on what's going on around in the real world still, and she gets to see her husband and her young son, and she gets to kind of see how the young son copes and how the father falls in love again and finds out how they can cope without her being around. And this really kind of reminded me of that, because this is about Rachel and Max, who were the perfect couple, and they've got a daughter called Ellie, but then Rachel dies, and Rachel is stuck in a place between worlds, grieving everything she has lost and everything she won't experience. She has no choice but to watch helplessly as her family face a future without her. But what Rachel doesn't realise is that love is so strong that the one thing that will break her heart may become the one thing she wishes for more than anything. And I think this could be very similar to The Angel at Number 33. If I'm guessing that perhaps the husband in this book might fall in love again and find a new partner, then that will be pretty much a retelling of The Angel at Number 33. So I'm kind of looking forward to seeing whether this book is similar, and if it is, whether it does it better than Polly Williams. And so far, I think I'm on chapter 3 or 4, let me have a look. Yeah, I'm on chapter 3 now, which is page 34, and so far I'm really loving the writing style. I really like Hannah's writing. It's very quite mature, and what's the word? It's really quite slick, and even though sometimes in places it feels a little bit pompous is the wrong word, because it's not pompous, but the words are see, I can't even form a proper sentence. The way that it's written is a lot more mature and literary than Polly Williams. Polly Williams is definitely more of a chick-lit and quite a simple, easy read. This one is one that you need to kind of pay a little bit more attention to so that you can understand every word that's being said, but that's not a bad thing, and I'm really enjoying this so far, so I'm really looking forward to reviewing it. And like I said, seeing whether it really is as similar to The Angel at Number 33 as I think it might be. So looking forward to that one. Whew, phew. you'll be glad to know there's only 2 more to go. The next one is a book that I also can't wait to read, and it is It Felt Like a Kiss by Sarah Manning. I don't know if her name is Sarah or Sarah, I think it's probably Sarah, but I'm really, really, really excited about this one, mainly because of the pretty cover. I do love a good cover, and this one is absolutely beautiful. I love the pink and the blues, and I love the idea of this one because the tagline, or like the blurb, says, "Ever fallen in love with someone you shouldn't have fallen in love with?" And apart from me starting to sing the song that those words come from, I really love the idea because I think that's a brilliant tagline, and it like raises all sorts of ideas in my head about, maybe it's about someone who has an affair, maybe it's about somebody who falls in love with somebody that they've been in a relationship with in the past, maybe someone falls in love with their sister's boyfriend or something like that. So I'm really excited to find out what these 2 people, why they fall in love and why they shouldn't fall in love. And yes, very excited. This comes out on the 13th, I think, as well. And I can tell you, all throwing all over the place, because as the book says, the back of the book says, there is going to be an ebook available as well, which is good. I think all of these books are probably available as ebooks now, but I'm just telling you what the back of the book says. And also it says, a fab read, you'll be hooked. Well, that's good, because I do like to be hooked. So really excited about this one. And now this last book that I'm going to pull out of my books on my bag is a book that I've actually already read. Shh, don't tell anybody. And it is called This Is the Life by Alex Shearer. Now, I haven't actually written up my review for this one yet because I really don't know what I read. And I know that sounds strange, but I really honestly can't tell you what this book was about. It wasn't bad, it wasn't amazing, it was good, but I didn't see the point of the book. And I know that's a really awful thing to say because, you know, obviously there is a point to the reason why he wrote it, and there's a reason why it's been published. But it just feels almost as if it wasn't really a story worth telling. I just felt a little bit like it wasn't. I think the reason why was because it wasn't linear or coherent, in the sense that it wasn't something that you could sit and read and understand where the plot went. It almost kind of jumped between different times and spaces without any reference to where it was going. So 1 minute you might be in the present, then you might jump back into the past, but you wouldn't have any idea that that had happened until you started reading about what was happening, if that makes sense. So I'm really kind of wondering whether I want to read this one again before I review it, or whether I'm going to just flick through it and have another look, because I am kind of unsure what I would think about this, and I also want to wait until other people have reviewed it, because I like reading other people's reviews, especially when I read a book that I'm not sure about, to see whether people have felt the same way about it, or if they've really enjoyed it or haven't enjoyed it. And I think once I've done that, I'll then be able to kind of put my thoughts into words. So I'm going to be interested to see what other people think of this. I think also this is going to be quite a good literary piece of fiction, rather than being like a contemporary popular piece of fiction. I think this is more of a acquired taste, I guess. But yeah, interesting book, interesting author. Yeah, interesting. So I will be reviewing that one as soon as I can. So that is my February TBR pile. There's not many books, there's 2, 4, 6 books, and I think I have a couple on my Kindle as well which I need to read, but I can't quite remember the titles of those. And I also think that they might be March releases actually, so ignore that. I only have 6 books. I might get some more from publishers before then. Not sure. I haven't actually been approached about any that are published in February yet, so it will be interesting to see if there are any more February releases that are coming that I'm excited about and I'm allowed to review. But I'm looking forward to that pile that I've got, and that's plenty to keep me going at the moment. So thank you again for watching, guys. I'm sorry that I haven't really been able to form any coherent sentences in this video or be very helpful in conveying what these books are about, but I hope that you've enjoyed watching, and I will see you again very soon. Bye, guys.